company of Christian Dior. From there, he would engage in constant corporate raiding, hostile takeovers, and brutal backstabbing to build the empire that is LVMH today. They bought out everyone from Tiffany and Bulgari to Sephora and Hermes. In fact, here's a list of all the brands that LVMH currently owns or has owned in the past. With each and every one of these brands, Bernard followed a very simple formula. Buy a substantial predatory stake in a business of your liking, promise that you're not looking to take over the company, continue internal strife amongst the existing team, and finally, make them an offer. In the meantime, he's also been keen to ensure that he doesn't get overthrown himself. One of the first things he did after taking over LVMH was acquire enough shareholders. But little did he know, Gucci would put up a fight of their lives, and this takeover would end up being one of Bernard's most public failures. So here's how Louis Vuitton got humiliated trying to take over Gucci. Taking a look back, the bloody battle for Gucci dates back to early 1999. The CEO of Gucci, Domenico De Sole, had just put in a stellar year with Gucci. He had nearly tripled the stock price from $33 to $56, and their star designer, Tom Ford, was making heads turn around the world. Gucci was no longer just running business, desperate for a bailout like they were just 5 years ago when De Sole took over. But De Sole was just getting started. Yes, he had successfully rescued the company from bankruptcy, but he wasn't just looking to save the company. What he wanted to do was make Gucci a fashion giant that was feared and respected around the world. His predatory hobby. But internally, De Sole was petrified. He had only been CEO for 5 years, but he had been involved with Gucci since the early 1980s, and this was by far his life's greatest work. So you can bet that De Sole had no intention of giving Gucci up to some French wolf, just so that he could add it to his endless list of brands. As a result, De Sole was keeping a close pulse on the situation. He would regularly call Gucci's investment banker, Morgan Stanley, and inquire if any outside purchases of Gucci stocks had been made. In fact, he would make one such call on this fateful day, January 5th, 1999. But something was different today, as De Sole felt that they were finally out of the woods. Instead of inquiring about New York purchases, he would probably tell the banker that it looks like we're in the clear now. But it was many hours later that he would get a frantic call from his assistant. Louis Vuitton's president, Marcel, who was also an old friend of De Sole, was on the line. But almost instantaneously, De Sole could tell that Marcel wasn't calling to get drinks or discuss the fashion industry. Marcel was calling to inform. He was calling to inform that LVMH had acquired a 5% stake in Gucci, and that the news was going to go public later that day. He went on to assure De Sole that Bernard's purchase was nothing but passive, and that he wanted the two brands to work together. But knowing Bernard's history, De Sole knew that this was complete and utter BS. He would hang up the phone and rush into the London Gucci office, calling everyone that he could think of. He called Morgan Stanley, he called their anti-takeover specialist, and then this part sunk. The anti-takeover specialist that they had been working with forever just happened to have a long sabbatical starting in just 1 week. At this point, De Sole lost it. He hung up the phone and told, "If Arnaud wants the company, he can have it. I don't give a blank. I'll just go sailing." Though De Sole had a little outburst there, he by no means meant what he said. Though he did love sailing, he wasn't gonna sit back and let this French tycoon bully Gucci. So he would call back Morgan Stanley and ask to get in contact with the boss of his former anti-takeover specialist. This got him in contact with a man named Michael Zelley. who was the head of Morgan Stanley's European Merger Advisory Group. Normally, such a defense would have been under his pay grade, but Zowie was more than happy to help because he had his own vendetta against Palmer. You see, he had previously represented the Guinness Brewery in their own fight against LVMH just a few years ago, and that in a matter of minutes, bringing with him Morgan Stanley's defense. But when they opened up the file, they would be met with another bombshell. It turns out that the anti-takeover specialist wasn't just going on a sabbatical, but he hadn't done jack in terms of creating a defense. In fact, the entire defense consisted of just two clauses. One, Dassault was allowed to resign from the company in the event of a hostile takeover. And two, Tom Ford was also allowed to resign if someone acquired more than 35%. Zowie couldn't believe it. He would call his employee and yell, "Where is the effing defense? What have you guys been doing all this time?" To this, the employee didn't really have a response, and it wouldn't be surprising if this guy's sabbatical turned into a permanent one. But that didn't really help Gucci's case. As the Gucci CFO observed, "You guys are toast." For Gucci, there was really only one way out of this. They would have to find someone else to buy a large enough stake in Gucci before LVMH took over. This way, LVMH wouldn't be able to acquire a majority, but this was much easier said than done. Here's the thing, Gucci was worth $8.7 billion, and while this was cheap money for Bernard, for everyone else in the fashion industry, this wasn't serious business, and they couldn't just make an investment decision overnight. So, Dassault only had one option, buy a dress